WDWL TV Multiplex, live from Studio 5A. We proudly present the pride of the station, the Two Grumpies, starring the grumpy old man. Oh, that would be me. And, the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. Oh, very good, very good. Let me say that. Oh, God, what is it today? Peach and avocado? Oh, my God, every day you stink worse. Get back in your corner. Oh, you and that goddamn shampoo. Wow, what'd you do, buy the whole store out? All right, there, the camera will see you. Look, turn there, see, okay. What do we got going on here? There we go. There, yes. WDWL TV News Now. That, it's not news now. Seems to be in my way. How did we have this thing arranged yesterday so that it wasn't in my face? Maybe like this? Oh, yeah, that's it. Break the place up. It's still not. It wasn't like that yesterday. Okay, a little bit better. Trying to figure this thing out. I don't know why. Somebody messed with the frickin' microphone. Now it's still in my way. Wait a minute. Let's do it this way. Let's turn the mic this way. I don't understand. Yesterday it wasn't in the way yesterday. Oh, I hit the mute button. I keep forgetting. It's right here at the edge of the microphone. And the thing is so goddamn sensitive. All you do is run your finger near it and it mutes the mic. Okay. Well, we're getting close to the first annual New Year's extravaganza. And I still haven't heard from any of my 52 subscribers as to what they might want done during the time that we're waiting for the ball to drop. I decided I'm going to set the monitor up over here. Yeah, I'm going to have a monitor right over in this area. I'm going to use a different microphone. Or maybe over here, I don't know. I've got to get it set up first. That would probably be a good idea. Set it up and then figure out where you're going to fucking put it. Grumpy asshole. Oh. You know, I thought I'd seen and heard it all. But this society never ceases to amaze me with what the hell goes on with people. I'm referring to yesterday with that undocumented alien who was deported once, got back in the country, ended up back in New York City, gets on the subway. Now there's this poor homeless woman sleeping on a subway car. He walks over, pulls out a lighter, and sets her on fire. People are watching. No one does anything. Then what makes matters worse? The flames start to go out. So he starts to fan the fucking flames so that the fire, starts to engulf her. Does anyone do anything? No. But we had several people with their cell phones out filming for their social media. Is this what society has turned into, people? We don't help our fellow man or woman. Now here's this poor homeless woman trying to stay warm. The police have, kind of ignored her. They know she's homeless, When they tell her to get off the subway, she gets off the subway cars. She's minding her own business and gets set on fire. No one steps in to help. No one. But they will step in with their cell phone and film it because they want to be the first one to put this story on their faceplant or their ticking clock or instant graham cracker account. Yeah. We are turning into a really sick society. We really are. So far, the last thing I heard, they still haven't been able to identify her. Unfortunately, she ended up passing. They interviewed a couple of people, and they were like, "Oh, maybe this guy had a gun." Well, you know what? If everybody who was filming put their camera down and rushed the guy, I'm sure they could have tackled him to the goddamn floor and then put the flames out on this woman. And then one person was like, "Oh, they need to have fire extinguishers on every subway car." Well, maybe yes. But we don't need to have people on subway cars setting people on fire just for the fun of it. He didn't know her. She didn't know him. I mean, that's all they've got out of him so far was basically, I didn't know her. He won't explain why he did it, I think for kicks. But is this what we've turned into, people? We watch someone set another human being on fire. And instead of attempting to put the flames out and save her life, we film it. How sick is this society getting? We don't help the poor woman, but we film it for our social media. All you people that put this video on their social media, I hope whatever media that you put the video on, they ban you for life. And if you try to open up another account, I hope they find out it's you and ban you again and keep banning you and banning you and banning you. Because you people are disgusting. Oh, I'm going to get 200,000 views on this one. That's the way this society is. Let me see if I put a video up, if it'll go viral. And then I'll become famous on whatever platform I'm on. What a bunch of assholes. Plain and simple. I really feel sorry for this woman. What an agonizing way to pass. Being burned to death. if any of you want to know what it feels like, set your arm on fire. And then you'll know. And then you can multiply that by about 200% when it engulfs your whole body. Yeah, burn yourself. Matter of fact, burn yourself and put yourself on social media at the same time. Unfucking real. We sit back and we watch this happen, and then we video it. Absolutely disgusting. Then, I'm sure many of you have seen the news story about the jet that crashed in South Korea. I have a million questions about this. I've watched the video several times. I've slowed it down and watched it. Now, they said, as the jet was approaching the airport, it supposedly hit nasty weather. Then it had a bird strike. Now, there are 3 hydraulic systems on these new jets. If one fails, you have 2 backups. So the excuse that they lost hydraulics because they had a bird strike don't make much sense. The engine was still running. If it's running, it's producing electricity and it's producing hydraulic pressure. Why did this jet come in with no landing gear? No landing gear. As a matter of fact, if you watch the video, and I've watched a couple of very reliable YouTube content makers that are very experienced as far as any type of airplane. Matter of fact, a couple of them are retired pilots. Matter of fact, one I watched today was a retired pilot of a 737. And he pointed out that this 737 was not set up for landing. If you look at the video, the flaps are not configured. There's no landing gear. Now, if they were to lose hydraulic pressure, right in between the pilot and the co-pilot seat, just a little bit back, is a trap door that you open. And there are 3 manual pull levers to drop the gear. So if they lost hydraulic pressure, they could have manually dropped them landing gears. The flaps weren't set. There was no landing gear. But they actually had one engine with a thrust reverser. Now, they ain't going to do shit when you're coming in, 150, 160 miles an hour. And then you come in on the wrong runway on top of it. What was going on in that plane? There were, out of 180 some people, there were 2 survivors. Both of them were cabin crew that were in the back of the plane, the far back of the tail. I've always heard that's the safest place to sit, in the tail section. Because, like what happened, the tail section will break off. And 9 times out of 10, it will spin out of the way and it won't catch fire. But so far, they interviewed one of the cabin crew who said, I can't remember a thing. That's unfortunate. Because it would have been nice to know, did the captain call back to the crew and say, hey, get ready for an evacuation? Even though after that plane hit that barrier, it burst into flames, so kind of tough to do an evacuation. But nowhere was that plane configured for a landing. And it did a go-around on top of it. Why did they not drop the landing gear? Why did they not step the flaps and the speed brakes? None of that was done. It came in on a belly landing. Then, it was obvious from the tower the plane had no landing gear. Why did they not send the emergency equipment out to foam the fuck out of that runway? That would have stopped a lot of what happened. I've seen videos where a plane will come in for a belly landing. They foam the shit out of the runway, and it slowly will dissipate any sparks that will set off the jet fuel. None of that was done. They knew it was coming in without landing gear. The tower said they could see it. Someone took pictures of it. No emergency equipment was anywhere around. This is going to be a very interesting investigation. The one good thing, both of the black boxes are in the tail of that plane. The tail section did not catch fire. Matter of fact, they should have the 2 black boxes in their possession already. But to watch that plane come in with no landing gear, no flaps, nothing. What was going on in that cockpit? Supposedly, the 2 pilots were extremely experienced. You don't land a plane without trying to make an attempt to at least put the gear down. And if you watch, I can't remember what YouTuber it was, he literally had a training video that showed those 3 manual levers just a little bit aft of the co-pilot seat. All he's got to do is turn around, open a little trap door, and pull them levers. And they manually drop the gear. That wasn't done. So the excuse of maybe we lost hydraulic pressure, that don't stop the gear from manually dropping if they pull the release levers. None of that was done. And it was obvious either the pilot or the co-pilot was landing the plane because you can watch it touch down. I just hope that the black boxes have all the information that they need to determine what was going on in that cockpit. Because there was pilot error on both pilot and co-pilot. And there's conflicting stories that when they came in the first time, the gear was down. And they put the gear up to do a go-around. If you knew you put the gear up, why didn't you put it back down? If you were coming in to do a landing, you got 3 red lights in front of you that keep showing you gear up, gear up, gear up. If you don't see 3 green lights, Jesus Christ, put the lever. And if the lever don't work hydraulically, reach back and pull the releases. Put some fucking wheels down. Because if they'd have had a landing gear down, the redundant systems in the plane would have allowed them to have brakes. Strange. Very strange. Why that plane come in on its belly? They had plenty of time to react. I just hope they have all the data. Because, like I say, the black boxes are in the tail. They should be in possession. They should be reading all the information by right now. So far, there's nothing more on the news. Unbelievable. And then for it to be filmed. That's the one time. I'm glad there were cameras. Because you can see it from the point where just before that plane starts to touch down. And I feel sorry for all the passengers and crew on that plane that knew what was going on while that plane was sliding down the runway. They all knew what was going to happen. That's almost as terrifying as the woman in the subway. And there were many on that plane that sent text messages to family and friends saying goodbye. I hope that there's not going to be some cover-up, because there's a lot of questions that need answering as to why that plane came in that was not configured for landing. No gear, no flaps, no nothing. Except they did pull a lever for the thrust reversers, but those ain't gonna do shit. You need brakes too. And then that barricade that held up the landing system, that radar guidance system, was about 10 inches thick with rebar to hold up a bunch of plastic poles. To have that at the end of a runway, you know, if that wasn't there, yeah, there was a cinder block retaining wall. That plane could have punched through that cinder block like dominoes. There wouldn't have been the destruction. But take a look at that video of that setup holding those radar units or whatever. They're plastic poles. That's all they were. Plastic tubes with a sensor on top. You don't need reinforced concrete to hold a bunch of plastic poles. So whoever designed that somewhat attributed to the disaster. But I'm out of my league here. I am not in any way, shape, or form a specialist on airport design or aircraft design. I just watch a lot of videos. But there was one that showed the hydraulic system. You have A, B, and C. If A fails, B will work. If B fails, C will work about 80% of the needed items on the plane, including landing gear. So they could not say they had a total hydraulic failure. Because even if they did, they still could have put down the gear. This is a strange one. A very strange crash. For nothing to be done. No flaps, no gear, no nothing. Nothing. They had nothing set that would slow that plane down. And then on top of it, he comes in on the wrong runway. If you're a pilot that lands a plane at an airport, wouldn't you be, even if you hadn't gone there very often, they have information that shows you runway position, you know, how to come in on your glide slope, so on and so forth. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And then I found out something interesting today. We are building another studio. Besides the one downstairs, maybe I didn't tell you that besides the one downstairs, there is another one under construction. And then I find out today there's two under construction. This multiplex is going to have more studios than Rockefeller Center in New York City. Yeah, we've got that one on the ground floor that's almost done. I was kind of keeping my fingers crossed for New Year's Eve, but CEO told me even if it is done, you ain't doing the debut show. We'll wait a day or two. I was like, ah, because it would have been nice to do the premiere of the new studio on New Year's Eve. I'm not getting that luxury. New Year's Eve, I have my studio. I don't know where it is. I won't find out until an hour before the New Year's Eve extravaganza. I was like, hey, I got microphones and shit to set up. He said, don't worry. We'll have it set up for you. I said, oh, something strange about this studio. I don't know why they're keeping it such a goddamn secret. All I keep hearing from the CEO is, this studio is you. It's me. I look in the mirror and I'm trying to figure out, what is me? What kind of studio is me? It's not this one. I wouldn't, if I was picking a studio for myself, I wouldn't pick this one. I don't like this one. But the one that I will be doing the New Year's Eve extravaganza from is me. That's what I keep hearing. It's me. CEO says, oh, this studio is you. He won't tell me where it's at. Now we've got 3 studios under construction. The one I keep peeking at, I no sooner cut a hole in the plastic to look in and see what's going on, and then they tape it over. Every hole that I've cut, they tape it back over. I'm like, you only know, leave it alone. I'm going to cut another hole in the damn plastic. But it's getting close. Oh, you talk about a studio that basically is going to put Rockefeller Center to shame. It's that one. The other 2, I don't know where they're at. All I know is I knew there was another one besides the one down on the main floor. And I knew there was another one on the first floor. Now that one, they got it boarded. The only way I could get a look is if I bring out a sawzall and cut a hole in it. But I didn't know that there was another studio. So we've got 3 new ones. I don't know what they're going to use them all for. You can't have a program in every goddamn studio every single day of the week unless they're going to do a lot of like videotaping shit. I don't see us like, that Fish Netflix or what is that, Pisscock, Tubi, they got more names for these stations. Yeah, there's one, Tubi. I'm like, Tubi? What do they play? Nobody knows. Now we know what, Fish Netflix plays and Piss Me Off Cock. We know that's a division of Disney. But some of these, of course, you got the Movie Network, TLC and Food Network and oh, you got 99,000 TV stations nowadays between cable and regular broadcast TV and streaming. And of course, they all want your money. Grumpy is cheap. Although, I am considering YouTube Premium because I'm getting tired of the fucking commercials. They're getting as bad as broadcast TV. Oh, Jesus Christ. If I see one more goddamn commercial for Viagra and all that other shit, I'm going to go crazy. Now they got a new one out. I think it's called Sparks or something. It looks like a Hall's lozenge, and you're supposed to put it under your tongue. They can take that commercial and shove it up their ass. Because at night, they will play it back to back to back. The other night, they played it 3 times in a row. I got the idea the first time they ran it. The good thing is, it runs for like 15 seconds. And then it says skip. And Grumpy's got his remote. As soon as it says skip, skip. Skip. Although the batteries, I gotta remember that tonight. I gotta put batteries in the remote. Because when I'm hitting the skip lately, it's like, oh, come on, skip. It's like a smoke alarm. I gotta do batteries like every 6 months. You would think, in this day of age, they would have rechargeable remotes. They have rechargeable cell phones. They have rechargeable wireless headsets and ear pods and all that shit. Why don't they come out with a remote that you can charge instead of having to buy 99,000 AAA batteries? Remotes have been out, what, 60 years, 70 years? You would think they would invent a remote you could charge. No. I get my new TV. It takes batteries. Every time you buy an appliance that has a remote, it takes a battery. Even the remotes for my lights in the studio. They take them goofy batteries that look like a quarter. Why doesn't somebody invent a TV or cable box or any remote for any item, DVD player, whatever, that you can recharge? That's been a burning question for a long time. Why don't they make rechargeable remotes? They know we are too fucking lazy to get up off our ass and change a channel manually. Every manufacturer of every electronic device that takes a remote knows we gotta buy a shitload of batteries. Why do they not make a rechargeable remote? Now, if there's one out there, I've never seen it. All I know is like my TV, my Roku box, my surround sound, my DVD player, all take batteries. And then it's a mix. Some remotes take AAA, some remotes take AA. So you gotta buy 90,000 of each. Because it never fails. A remote will go out at the worst time. I always keep 2 of each on my nightstand. Except the AAAs that I had on my nightstand are in the remote. I never put the new ones back. So now I have to figure out where I put the AAA batteries because I put them in a safe place. And it never fails. When you put them in a safe place, you forget where the fuck you put them. But if I had a rechargeable remote, like a cell phone, I could plug it in and keep it at 100%. And why am I am I the only one that thought of this? No. I'm sure some idiot in the drawing room that's working on his CAD on his computer is thinking like, gee, we could develop a rechargeable remote and be the first ones on the market. Nobody has thought like that. I can't see somebody approaching a CEO going, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we be the first one on the market to make a remote you can charge? There's no way I can see any CEO of any electronics company going, get the fuck out of here. Well, I can, because he probably owns stock in a battery company. And he'd be like, wait a minute, no, my stock would drop like crazy if we had rechargeable remotes. Get the fuck out of my office. That's the only way I could see an idea like that could go in the shit can. Otherwise, why do they not make a rechargeable remote control? Inquiring minds want to know. And Grumpy is tired of buying fucking batteries all the time. And it never fails. I'll go, and they'll be out of AA batteries. They'll have 5 shelves of AAAs. No, I need AAs. That same thing. Perfect example. Why do they not make wall clocks with a solar charger? They make solar chargers for yard lights. Why don't they put a little solar charger in a wall clock? Those goddamn wall clocks eat fucking batteries like crazy. I have a wall clock right up over my TV, so my lazy ass can lay in bed and see what time it is. Well, last night, I'm looking at the clock, and it's saying 11:45. Okay, there's a program I want to watch at midnight. Well, I happened to doze off. And I woke up, and I was like, oh, I must have been sleeping like 30 seconds. It's still 11:45. and I go to look at my program, and it's over. I'm like, did they run it early? And see, another thing that pisses me off, I have a clock in my TV set. On the home screen, you would think that maybe up in the corner they would have the clock, so while you're watching TV you can see what time it is. No. So I missed the program that I wanted to watch, that they're not going to repeat, and it's not on any other channel, because the battery went dead in my wall clock. Why don't they make a little solar charger to charge a battery in the wall clock, so you don't have to keep replacing the fucking battery? I'm not the only person that's thought of this. Why do they not make these clocks? And why do they not make these remotes? You have to plug your cell phone in at night to charge it. Be just as easy in the morning when you unplug your cell phone and take it with you, you would plug in your remote. That way, when you go to watch TV at night, the remote is fully charged all the time, and no need to replace a fucking battery. But no, every remote takes a battery. And then they haven't universalized it. I've got 3 different flat screens, okay? I have my 24-inch, I have my 35-inch, and I've got my 50. The 24 and the 35 take AA. My 50-inch takes AAA. My Roku takes AAA. You would think they would universalize it, either double or triple, people. No. And then you could solve the whole situation by making it rechargeable. We need to start a petition. Make remotes rechargeable. Although it's too late now, I already got the TV set. But why has this not been done? From day one, cell phones were rechargeable. I have my Motorola brick. That big ass fucking battery on the back is a rechargeable battery. Would you not think somebody would come up with the idea for a rechargeable remote? It's been what? At least 65 years TVs have had remote controls? You mean to tell me in 65 years nobody thought of this? Is there some big conspiracy with the battery companies? That all these companies are getting kickbacks from Energizer? Inquiring minds want to know. So I guess I'm going to have to go on a crusade. all by myself and start writing these fucking electronics manufacturers and say, hey, why don't you make your remote rechargeable, you assholes? Everything's rechargeable. Wireless headsets, earpods, tablets, laptops, iPods, MP3 players, if anybody still has one, cell phones, cell phone accessories. You know, yeah, perfect example. Bluetooth headsets, rechargeable. Even hearing aids are rechargeable. Why don't we have a remote control that's fucking rechargeable? No. I really think that all these manufacturers are in cahoots with the battery companies. I cannot believe in 65 years this question hasn't been asked. Somebody had to be thinking of this. It's not that hard to invent. If you can invent rechargeable earpods, you can invent a rechargeable fucking remote control. No. We still have to put fucking batteries in them. And we have to have 2 different size batteries. And if you've got these little ones, oh, these are fun. They either take a CR24, a CR16, a CR13, or a CR25. They can't even universalize these. These are CR25. I have to keep a shitload of button batteries. Luckily, I found a battery supplier on eBay. You can get 10 for like $2. Yeah. You get a strip of 10 for $2 and free shipping. So I end up ordering a strip of 10 of each. CR13, CR 2013, 2014, 2015, 2020, 2024, and 2025. Because all these remotes take different... Are all these remote control manufacturers in bed with the battery companies? They've got to be. Because by now, somebody would have made a rechargeable fucking remote control. But no. Luckily, I think I have 2 more brand new AAA batteries. I just remembered. They're in the cabinet in my dresser. I remembered that. But now, tomorrow, I have to go out and buy AA and AAA. And then while I'm at it, I've got to get C and D batteries for my flashlights. Because I always keep, oh, I got some wonderful mag lights. Oh, yeah. Over the years, I've got 2-cell, 3-cell, 4-cell, and 6-cell. Oh, the 6-cell, oh, that's a club. But they all take batteries. Of course, there is one, I think it's called Streamlight. It's a flashlight like a mag light. They make a rechargeable version. Somebody came up with that idea, but they can't have a rechargeable fucking remote. Oh. If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out right now. But I think it's time for Grumpy to figure out what he's going to have for dinner. And it's time to play our outro music. Where's my stylus? I need a stylus. There. Okay, outro music. Outro music. Here we go. We don't meet on Sunday days. We meet in the evening. And folks, we will meet again tomorrow night. Same station, hopefully the same time. Grumpy and the Bird bid you a wonderful evening and we'll meet again tomorrow. See ya. How come my see ya isn't working? I think I need a battery in my cordless remote, my cordless mouse. Oh. Let's try the see ya one more time.